Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mac. Okay. Okay, the video has started recording. Once again, good morning for those who are listening to the recording. I'm going to set up a whiteboard, the Jamboard, so that I can draw what I want to say. I'm going to grab my pen. I hope you all are doing fine today. Okay, I shared a gem file with the meeting. You should be able to see it. But if you don't want to go to the tab, you just want to listen to me talk pun tidak masalah juga. Okay. Okay, so let's get started with our overview of chapter 2. So chapter 2 is titled Chapter 2 is just titled as Chapter 2 Ecology. And this is kind of a sambungan. It's a continuation of what we learned in Chapter 1. So in Chapter 1, we learn about all the different plants and microorganisms, the fungi, the animals that can live in a certain place. In ecology, we are talking about the interactions between all these different living organisms and also their interactions with the other factors in their environment, such as, water, the soil, the air, etc. Dalam arti kata lain, kita boleh juga anggap ecology ini adalah macam mana benda hidup itu hidup. How does it live? What does it do when it lives? Who does it meet when it lives? What does it eat? That is all part of ecology. Now, when we are learning about chapter 2 ecology, we are relating to one of the aspects of biodiversity. We're going to be talking about ecosystem diversity. So ini saya tarik balik kepada chapter 1. Kalau dalam chapter 1 kita ada cakap pasal 3 types of diversity kan? Yes, Leah? Miss tidak share screen. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm sharing a window. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, I'm sharing the screen now. Thank you for for mentioning that in the chat. Okay, saya datang balik apa yang saya cakap tadi. When we are learning about ecology, we also want to learn about the ecosystem. And I want to bring you back to what we learned in early parts of chapter 1, where we talk about 3 types of biodiversity. Okay, when we talk about 3 types of biodiversity, we talk about genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. Species diversity adalah benda yang kita terokai. It's something that we explore when we learn about chapter 1 biodiversity and we learn about all these different living organisms. In chapter 2 ecology, when we go in and learn about ecosystems, we are going at ecosystem diversity. Okay. Can anyone tell me what they think ecosystem means? What do you think of when you hear the word ecosystem? What does it mean? Ini tidak payah ikut the definisi pun tidak apa. Bagi saja apa tanggapan kamu tentang perkataan ecosystem. What's your perception? What's your impression when you hear the word ecosystem? Interaction, okay? So Shifa cakap dalam chat when she thinks about ecosystem, she thinks about interaction. And Intan message that she thinks about various organisms. So those are good keywords, okay? So this is about interaction and also about various organisms. So yeah, that's dia lebih kurang sama macam apa yang saya cakap pasal ecology tadi juga lah. So in an ecosystem, we are talking about interaction between these various organisms or biotic factors or living things between the various organisms and the abiotic factors in their environment. So cara dia berinteraksi antara benda hidup yang lain dan dengan benda yang tidak hidup. So that is part of ecosystem. When you look at the notes later, there is a definition for ecosystem. I think you need to remember roughly how to define. Perlu cuba ingat dia punya definisi juga lah. Tapi yang lebih penting adalah kamu harus tahu macam mana mau explain sesuatu ekosistem. Yeah, you need to remember the definition for sure. But what's more important is you need to know how to explain a certain ecosystem. In this chapter, in 2.1, you're going to learn about lake ecosystem and rainforest ecosystem. I'm an adult. I am an adult who finished university. I can spell ecosystem. Okay. 2.1, you will learn about lake ecosystem and you learn about rainforest, the ecosystem. So, bila kita cakap pasal sesuatu ekosistem tu, kita perlu perkenalkan apa yang ada, apa yang boleh nampak. So, sama ada kita explain sesuatu kawasan. Okay, so for example, when you learn about lake ecosystem later, you will learn that you can divide the lake into different zones. Okay, zone ini kita boleh gelar sebagai apa? Sebab pada zone ini cahaya matahari masih boleh tembus permukaan air. Di zone ini kita bagi nama yang lain sebab bila dia sampai kedalaman ini, when it reaches its depth, this particular depth, there is no more sunlight going in. Okay, so that is example of how you can tell people what you can see in that ecosystem. And then you describe what happens step by step or section by section. Bila kita cerita pasal rainforest pun kita boleh cakap begitu. Rainforest ni, hutan hujan khatulistiwa ni kita boleh bagikan kepada berapa zone. Okay, zone di bawah apa nama dia? Zone tengah-tengah apa dia? Zone atas sikit apa dia? Zone paling atas apa nama dia? Dan apa ciri-ciri, apa organisme yang kita boleh jumpa di setiap zone. So you're gonna have to learn how to explain an ecosystem. Of course, dalam syllabus kamu, kami cakap saja pasal lake and rainforest. As you can see, when you look outside your window, and when you think of all the places you've been to, there are many types of ecosystems. Dari tempat yang panas-panas ke tempat yang sejuk-sejuk, tempat yang lembap-lembap, dan tempat yang kering-kering. I'm only teaching you two, but if you're interested, you can go ahead and learn about other ecosystems out there and what are the factors that are at play in each of those ecosystems. Kalau exam kita ada essay, tidak pasti kalau kamu kena minta untuk explain this ecosystem. Maybe you will get question like that, maybe you will not. So kalau kamu mau start practice menjawab essay dari chapter ini, highly recommended. Okay, so that is about 2.1. After 2.1, we will go into the next subtopic, which is 2.2, energy flow through ecosystems. So for this subtopic, energy flow through ecosystem, ini berkait dengan apa yang kamu pernah belajar di sekolah rendah dengan sekolah menengah dulu. This is going to tie back to what you learned in school before about food chain, food web. Okay, so ini akan kait balik kepada food chain dengan food web. what is the BM for that? Rangkaian makanan, rantai makanan,
Rantaian makanan.
rantaian makanan. Kalau food web apa? Anyway, my BM is not good. But thank you, Christina. Yeah, rantaian makanan. It's literally think that siapa makan siapa, makan siapa, makan siapa, makan siapa. Dan berapa tenaga uh, daripada trophic level pertama akan pergi kepada trophic level kedua. So this one you can, of course, in your nota you can conteng-conteng. If you start from a producer, eaten by a bug, eaten by a chicken. This is a nice chicken. Eaten by a snake. Okay, this is trophic level 1, trophic level 2, trophic level 3, trophic level 4. And then kalau sini ada berapa, like 5,000 kilojoules of energy. Bila dia sampai kepada insect, it might be about 10%. So sampai sini dia mungkin like 500 kilojoules energy dia dapat. Sampai ayam, bila dia makan itu grasshopper, mungkin dia dapat 50 saja. Bila itu ular makan tu ayam, mungkin dia dapat like 5 kilojoules saja. So you need to be able to do this calculation dan tunjuk jalan kerja kamu untuk 2.2. Dalam 2.2 juga kamu akan belajar pasal dia punya food pyramids, if I'm not mistaken. There's different pyramids that you're going to learn about. Tapi itu pyramid sama ada bandingkan antara quantity organism di setiap level. Okay, that later you'll have a look at the notes. The pyramid could be looking at how many animals are for each of the levels, or it can be talking about how much energy each level will get, or I'm not sure if it's relative size also. Okay, but this one is, we can have a look at that later when we go into the videos. Okay, saya cuba untuk siapkan video recording untuk ini minggu depan lah. I'll try to get the videos up by next week. Kalau saya mau janji hari ini pun, we know that's not gonna happen. So next week lah baru saya upload video untuk chapter 2. Let's be honest. Okay, alright. So that's chapter 2.2, 2.3. Nanti ini ada belajar pasal biogeochemical cycle. So when we go into 2.3, you're going to learn about the cycle for carbon, the cycle for nitrogen, and the cycle for phosphorus. Macam mana setiap daripada elemen ini dia akan berkaitan daripada udara kepada tanah, kepada air, kepada organism, kepada tai dan sebagainya. So how these nutrients will be cycled throughout the ecosystem. So this is looking at the abiotic factors of that ecosystem. For this one, I want you to watch the videos, read my notes, and then later I want you to draw. I want you to draw the charts showing each of these biogeochemical cycle, and you should submit them in GC. Untuk waktu cuti ni, saya bagi bahan online. Kamu buat ikut pace kamu sendiri. Ini kamu mau lukis duluan kah, buat bahagian lain duluan kah, up to you. Yang penting kamu cuba untuk siapkan. Okay, so this will be 3 drawings that you can submit in the GC. I will open the submission slot later. I want you to draw because it's easier to understand and then explain what happens in the environment if you can visualize it. Kalau kamu boleh dapat gambaran yang jelas, senang untuk kamu ingat dan kamu explain. So that's why I like to draw. You want to add color, no color, make it handwritten, make it digital, up to you. I don't mind. And then after we learn about, kucing dah tinggal sampah. after we learn about all this biogeochemical cycle, we talk about energy flow, we go into the sentimental stuff and talk about conservation and management. When we talk about conservation and management, it's not a topic that is foreign to you. Saya pasti dari dulu sampai sekarang kamu dengar banyak pasal memelihara dan memulihara alam sekitar. You talk about preserving and also restoring some parts of nature, especially for us who live in Borneo, and even in Semenanjung as well, there is a lot of diversity that we have in our nature that is always under attack by money greedy people. So it's mau cakap senang melawan orang yang tamak ni pun tidak juga, susah juga, tapi tidak mustahil lah untuk kita jaga juga kita punya alam sekitar. So in 2.4, we'll be talking about some of the efforts that we've been doing. And of course, this one is more of a free topic. So kalau kamu ada idea tambahan, you can share that in the group later. We'll talk about it after we come back from cuti. Yeah, so this one I will elaborate more. In discussion during GM. Now is week 4, week 6. And then last but not least, after 2.4, we go into 2.5, population ecology. When you get to 2.5, you will feel like napa chapter ni berbeza, subtopic ni berbeza sedikit dengan bahagian lain pada chapter ni. It's because the content in 2.5 used to be a different chapter. We just try to combine it into chapter 2 now. Dia punya population ecology ini dia lebih tengok kepada status sesuatu population. It's looking at how well a population is doing in relation to its environment and all these other factors. So in 2.5, you will start seeing something very, very familiar. If you remember, it's this chart. Salah lukis. Okay. It's this chart. Anybody remember the name of this graph? Nama graph. That's with an S. Sometimes G.
Sigmoid ka?
Yes, correct. Apa tadi tu? Akil ka tadi? But yeah, it's correct. This is the sigmoid curve. So in 2.5, you'll see the sigmoid growth curve again. But now, instead of talking about one organism only, it's going to talk about the whole population. So it could be population of bacteria. It could be population of animals. Could be population of humans also. So later we'll have a look at that in population ecology. We'll also look at some factors why the population might increase in size and why it might stabilize or decrease in size. Apa faktor-faktor dia? Dan apakah faktor yang menghadkan perkembangan population? What are the factors that might limit the growth of the population? I think you need to be able to explain the graph as well for population ecology. But that's a problem we get to when we get there. Okay. Tutorial pelan-pelan kamu buat. Lepas cuti Chinese New Year tu lah balik kita bincang tutorial dalam Google Meet macam biasa. I don't think you need to do any experiment for this chapter. So should be okay. Naik cuti tu kita discuss chapter 2 and then middle of the week for week 6 we'll go into chapter 3. So far, do you have anything you want to ask or clarify about chapter 2 punya barang sebelum saya pergi kepada announcement? Any questions? Okay, so far tiada. So kalau masa cuti nanti, kalau kamu ada sebarang soalan, boleh message saja di Telegram, boleh message di group, mau personal, mau chat di group pun boleh. Don't email me, I don't check emails. Don't call me, I will not accept. Tapi kalau kamu message tengah malam kah, siang kah, masa saya sedang makan pun, it's okay. Message saja, bila saya sedang, saya akan balas. And what do I need to say? What did I say? Oh, okay. During week 5, all work will be on GC. That is not how you write GC. GC and Telegram. No Google Meet. And also YouTube. GC, YouTube, Telegram, and WhatsApp. WhatsApp saya akan copy announcement saja lah, in case some of you have not very good line on your Telegram. Week 6. Bagi yang balik bercuti, by week 6, you should be back here and you should be doing your quarantine in your own dorm. Week 6 juga lah SES akan masuk college. Jadi seperti yang saya cakap minggu lepas, jalanlah puas-puas minggu ni dan minggu depan. Nanti takut tidak dapat keluar dorm. And in week 6, Monday will be for chapter 2 discussions. And Thursday, Friday will be for chapter 3 discussion. And I think we'll discuss the experiment for lab test juga. The experiment 11. Kalau tidak silap lah, begini timeline dia. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, learn and discuss. Assignment deadlines. I need to get back to the assignment deadlines sebelum kita terlupa. Where did I put the thing? Oh no, where did I put the thing? That is not the thing. Let me find the thing. I'm looking for the deadlines for the assignment. So, kalau kamu ada soalan, kamu tanya. Okay. Right. So, reminder about the assignment. Sebab dulu, saya balik-balik tertinggal saya punya assignment masa di university. Saya tidak mau benda itu berulang untuk kamu. So, sekarang saya bagi banyak peringatan. Assignment. Ada 3 orang sudah submit first draft. So, that's very good. I'll mark it as soon as I can. First draft is due on 11 February in week 6. But you will be very busy after Chinese New Year. So try to do as much as you can this week. Kalau kamu sudah tengok itu draft kan, it's very simple actually. Cuma dari kamu sejak bila mau start dan berapa cantik kamu lukas cantik. A lot of apps can do the layout very nicely for you. Just make sure you have the correct information in your infographic. And then final deadline due on 4th March, which is week 9. Kalau kamu punya marka assignment rendah, masa kami bincang marka PB di unit nanti, akan dibangkitkan. Miss Delia, kenapa marka pelajar Miss Delia semua rendah-rendah? And I don't want to say why it's rendah. If possible, I don't want my name there at all. So bagi yang last sem tidak hantar draft, tolong hantar draft on time. So you get marks, I get muka. I get to save some of my dignity bila di unit nanti. And of course, it's very nice when you get full marks. So I hope you get a lot of marks for your assignment and also for your practical tests and the lab test nanti. Macam itu saja saya mau umum. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to clarify? Sekarang tiada at-home experiments lah, so you don't need to do anything macam potato last sem. If there are no more questions, we can continue to, we can end the class. And you can continue doing whatever you are doing.
Miss, so during week 5, we need to study for chapter 2, right?
Yes. You can finish it. You can finish it in one day. I will only ask you to do chapter 2 sahaja. I will not add chapter 3 until we
Okay.
start new. Chapter 2 is actually very simple and straightforward. The information is there, tidak rumit. It's not gonna make you confused. Just that it might take some time to remember. So, kalau kamu tidak dapat 100% masa week 5 pun tidak apa. At least you try to go through the video, you try to look at the lecture notes. Kalau kamu dapat 40% saja pun masa week 5, that's good enough. If you can get 80, 100%, that's great. But, you know, dengan tiada airnya, dengan sibuk sambut angpau ataupun dengan murungnya dalam bilik sebab tidak dapat balik terima angpau. So it's like a lot of factors may be affecting you. Just try your best. Make sure you try to do the work at least. Tapi bila face to face sudah nanti habis semua. It'll make you do more work. Oh, after the Chinese New Year break, we will have class ganti on Saturday on some weeks, and I think you guys should get the memo soon, if not already. But I'll send you a screenshot in the Telegram later. Mana satu hari yang ada kelas ganti. It's gonna be on Saturdays lah. Untuk kelas saya, we'll see for that week. What is my plan for that week? Is that clear or did I confuse you more? Okay, all right. Okay, if there are no more questions, that will be it for today's class. Like I said, very short overview of chapter 2. I will update in the group whenever there are new videos uploaded, including the video recording for this Google Meet. Thank you very much again, everybody, for your time, your attention, and I will see you again soon, maybe after the break. Bye.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Thank
Miss.
you.
Mi.